Hello everyone, it's me, Synergy here, back with another video. It's been a while. I think some 7 months since I uploaded a video. So yeah, I've been away for a bit, kind of busy. Uh, I'm gonna do more film-focused content, I think. I'm gonna transition more to that. Doesn't mean I'll stop doing the skits and whatever. It's just I've been more and more into film lately. That's what's really been motivating me. So that's probably going to be where I'll be focusing my efforts, if you will. So I thought, what better time to kick off the movie content than on the eve of the biggest night in Hollywood, that is the Oscars. This award season has been chaotic, to say the least. But I'll just be quickly going through the nominees and, you know, just kind of saying my predictions and whatnot. This is going to be a one shot take. So here we go. Just by the way, quick warning. To the dismay of many, I will be abstaining from predicting the winners in the short films categories. Not only because I haven't seen the nominees, but I am not informed about their standing in the awards race to properly determine whether they have a chance of winning or not. So without further ado, let's go. First category we have here is Best Visual Effects: Alien Romulus, Better Man, Dune Part Two, Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, and Wicked. I don't think it would be too far-fetched to say that Dune is gonna run away with the award this time. I really don't see how any of the other nominees could compare. I mean, closest competitor I would say in that category is Wicked, but even then, I think Dune Part Two, it's one of the highlights, that's for sure. Then we have Best Film Editing, uh, which is let's say our first toss-up of the video. I'm not sure how that race is gonna go. A lot of people are predicting Anora, but I think those predictions stem mostly from the fact that a lot of people would like to see Sean Baker win 4 awards and tying the all-time record for most Oscars in one night. So I don't know. Anora was still pretty well edited, so it would be a solid winner. But I think The Brutalist or Conclave would be likelier candidates. At this moment, probably leaning towards Conclave, given the fact that awards voters don't seem to have finished The Brutalist, which is really a shame because it's a great movie and you could have just gone to a theater and experienced the full thing instead of just being there on your little Academy app. Then we have Best Costume Design: A Complete Unknown, Conclave, Gladiator 2, Nosferatu, and Wicked. Lots of great contenders. Actually, I think the below the line categories this year have some pretty solid nominees with very few exceptions. Costume design is one of them. I think all the nominees all the nominations rather are well deserved. But I think it's going to be Wicked getting the award this time. Even though my feelings on the movie are pretty mixed, I can't deny that the costumes are just great, and I think it's going to win another category that we're going to touch on a bit later in the video. So yeah, costume design, I'm predicting Wicked. Makeup and hairstyling, also a very interesting category. A few one-time nominees here, I think, or just one single nominee film, which is Different Man, that hasn't gotten any other nominations. Especially weird since Sebastian Stan won a Golden Globe for Best Actor in A Different Man, and he got nominated for an Oscar, but for The Apprentice. So I don't know how that lines up. So yeah, makeup and hairstyling nominees are Different Man, Emilia Perez, Nosferatu, The Substance, and Wicked. Again, some pretty good nominees here, but I don't think it would be too exaggerated to say that The Substance is running away with this award. and it's not even close. I mean, just purely due to the fact that it's a body horror movie, and it relies on the quality of its makeup and hairstyling to, sort of get the feel across, and it does that extremely well. It's a really great movie, one that I'm glad to have seen in theaters. Then we have best cinematography. It's one of the top categories I'm looking forward to the most on Oscars night. We have The Brutalist, Dune Part Two, Amelia Perez, Maria, and Nosferatu. This one might also be a bit of a toss-up. Dune Part Two might have some good chances of winning, but given the fact that Greg Fraser won for his work on the first Dune, I think its chances are a bit diminished. I'm sad to see that Challengers didn't get nominated whatsoever in any of the categories, actually. It's very shocking because I thought it would win at least one. But no, completely wiped out. So that leaves us with the top two contenders, in my opinion, being Dune Part 2 and The Brutalist. It's still a toss-up for me, even on the eve of the Oscars. But I don't know. I might be leaning towards Dune Part 2, although I think on second thought it's going to be The Brutalist. One of the major high points around The Brutalist has been the cinematography. Shooting in VistaVision, which hasn't been done in American cinema since probably the 70s, and the whole 70 mil craze, which Dune Part 2 had a little bit of it, but that was back in March. So yeah, I think the March release date kind of, neutered some of its chances at the Oscars, at award season in general. So that's kind of sad because I really love that movie. It's my favorite of the last year. But yeah, Brutalist is winning this, and it's definitely not undeserved because I also love that movie. Then we have Best Production Design. So we have The Brutalist, Conclave, Dune Part 2, Nosferatu, and Wicked. Again, some really great picks. It would be hard to to pick one clear winner in this, but I think this is going to be Wicked's second and last award of the night. It could honestly go to any of these, and I would still be happy. But I think Wicked's taking this, and yeah, I don't think I have anything more to say on that front. I haven't followed the production design race, but that seems to be the leading contender in production design. So I'm gonna go with that. Then we have Best Sound. We have A Complete Unknown, Dune Part 2, Amelia Perez, Wicked, and The Wild Robot. For my money, it's going to be Dune Part 2. It also won sound, Dune Part 1 won sound when it was nominated at the Oscars. But, I mean, truly, I don't really see any other competition, strong competition in that category. It's very unique sound design. It's wonderful. But I have seen some people name A Complete Unknown, or maybe even Wicked, as strong runner-ups. I'm not sure how that'll turn out, but last year, one of the biggest upsets of the night was Zone of Interest beating out Oppenheimer in sound. So who knows? This could also be another upset category, although it would be harder to define it as an upset given that there's not a clear I don't think there's going to be a clear sweep this year. We have Best Music, Original Song. We have El Mal from Amelia Perez, The Journey from the 6888, Like a Bird from Sing Sing, Mi Camino from Amelia Perez, and Never Too Late from Elton John, Never Too Late. So this is always one of the weirder categories at the Oscars, if not the weirdest. Because there's some movies in here that I'm pretty sure don't exist. What is the 6888? Actually, I think I've heard of that. Whatever. What is Elton John, Never Too Late? Let me see here. It's a documentary film. I have never heard of this. It kind of feels shoehorned in. Um, to be honest, I can't really think of many other nominees for this category. And I think the obvious winner is going to be one of the two Emilia Perez songs, in this case, El Mal, because it's the most popular one. Although they should just give it to Diane Warren at this point. Stop subjecting the poor lady to like 10 years of consecutive Oscar nominations without a win. Just like give her the award for once. I haven't even heard the song. It's just, it's got to be better than El Mal. Even though El Mal is one of the only like musical numbers I can tolerate in Emilia Perez. Then we have the original score category. So that's going to be between The Brutalist, Conclave, Emilia Perez, Wicked, and The Wild Robot. Mostly solid, but you know, the two best scores of the year, or at least the two most notable scores of the year, were just completely eliminated from the category. Dune Part Two got disqualified, which I mean, unfortunate but fair. You know, they disqualified The Godfather. You know, some masterpieces are not truly appreciated in their time or whatnot. I'm just kidding. It's fair. It's an application of the rules. It, fair is fair. Whatever. Challenger's not getting nominated. Much. That's completely shocking. I think me and everybody else was predicting that it will win. It won at the Golden Globes. It was widely acclaimed, highly memorable. It's a shock that it didn't win. So that really just leaves us with the closest contender, which I still really love, and I still listen to some of the tracks, like in my daily rotation, which is The Brutalist. Great opening, great overture rather. It's a great score. I really like the score, and I think it's going to win at the Oscars, and it's going to be deserved. We have animated short film, live action short film, documentary short film. As I said in the beginning of the video, I won't be making predictions for those. Sorry to the filmmakers behind those movies. I'm gonna watch some of them at least. I'm gonna try and at least watch the winners after they're announced, just to make up for that. Because it's still a lot of effort making a short film. So I really respect that. Then we move on to the documentary feature film category, which I'm going to be honest with is also slightly out of my field of expertise, if you will. The obvious pick here would be No Other Land, but given that the subject of that movie might be a bit touchy for members of the Hollywood elite, I don't think it's going to be the obvious winner. It's certainly a front runner. Might be a way for like the Oscars voting base to make a sort of political statement. But I don't know. I don't think it's as certain as like locked in a front runner as I or many others would perceive it to be. I'm still locking in No Other Land as the winner, but I think Black Box Diaries and Soundtrack to a Coup d'etat have been getting a lot of traction. I don't know. I certainly know of Black Box Diaries, but again, I haven't seen any of these movies. Sadly enough. We're going to move on to the international feature film category. So we have Emilia Perez, Flow, The Girl with the Needle, I'm Still Here, and The City of the Sacred Fig. I've heard of all of these, but I've only watched two of them, which are I'm Still Here and Emilia Perez, because they're Best Picture nominees, and I try to at least catch up in that category before the Oscars. I think, sadly enough, Emilia Perez is going to take this one, even though, from what I've seen, all the other four picks are better. Certainly I'm Still Here would be a great choice, and, I think the Brazilians getting this one would be nice. It would make for a great week on Twitter, at least. And I really need that, because it's a shit app. It was shit before Elon took over. It's even more shit now. Sorry for the language, it just has to be said. Twitter is a terrible place to be. We have animated feature film. So we have Flow, Inside Out 2, Memoir of a Snail, Wallace and Gromit, Vengeance Most Foul, and The Wild Robot. So, haven't seen any of the nominees in this category, which is kind of a major oversight. You'd think I would have at least seen one, but past year I wasn't too strong in terms of the animated feature film watching. So, my apologies to everyone. I think the major contenders in this category would be Flow and The Wild Robot. Leaning towards Flow, I think that won the Golden Globe as well. For leaning off of the Golden Globe as a reference for who's going to win, who isn't, then I'm going to follow the same pattern as the Golden Globes did last year with The Boy and the Heron. So I think it's going to be Flow that wins. Memoir of a Snail would be a very unexpected but welcome pick, but I don't think anybody watched that, sadly. At least I didn't get to watch it, which is a shame because from what I've seen of Adam Elliott's work, it's pretty great. But I think Adam Elliott already has an Oscar in animated short film. So, I don't know. To all the Academy voters who are aware of who Adam Elliott is, that might have been a bit of a turnoff. And Wallace and Gromit obviously has like 2 or 3 Oscars or something. And Inside Out 2 is obviously there because it has to be. Now we're getting into the juicier categories. We're reaching the top 5 here, the big 5 rather. So we have the writing categories, and in this case we have adapted screenplay. The nominees being A Complete Unknown, Conclave, Amelia Perez, Nickel Boys, and Sing Sing. So I don't think the race is that clear. I think it's more clear than original screenplay for sure. But I think some of these movies could win just based off of the strength of them being in picture. Not too sure though. I'm locking in Conclave though. That's gonna be my prediction. I do think it's the strongest candidate out of all of them. Just because Conclave has such broad appeal and the writing was really good. That really stood out to me. Even though I'm not as big a fan of Conclave as everyone on the internet seems to be, I really like the writing and the editing and the production design in that too. It's a very well made film. Just overall not as much for me as the internet would have led me to believe. Then we have Best Original Screenplay. We have Anora, The Brutalist, A Real Pain, September 5, and The Substance. We're going to go by elimination on this one. September 5 has won no major awards, and I think the Oscars campaign for that movie kind of lost steam very quickly. I don't know if it ever even had steam. So I think it's fair to like eliminate it just right out the gate. A Real Pain won the BAFTA, but I don't think Jesse Eisenberg could win screenplay just off of the strength of the BAFTA. So I'm going to disqualify 2, and that leaves us with 3 big contenders: Anora, The Brutalist, and The Substance. The Brutalist is great, and I really loved it. However, most of the people I know who have issues with the movie, most of those issues would stem from the screenplay. So I don't know if that's a fair reason to disqualify it, especially since I don't know any Oscar voters to my knowledge. But I don't think it's got enough buzz in that category to be, the likely frontrunner. So that leaves us with The Substance and Anora. Both very well written. I feel like that would be some of the highlights of their respective films. It's going to be very hard to predict who's going to win, but given the overwhelming amount of support for Anora in the past few weeks, I think I'm going to lock in Anora as my official prediction for original screenplay. Then we have actress in a supporting role. We're getting into the acting categories. This is a bit of a tight race. Not going to lie. Zoe Saldana, Isabella Rossellini, Felicity Jones, Ariana Grande, and Monica Barbaro. It's kind of hard to predict a winner. At the same time, it also kind of isn't. For the same reason that The actor in a supporting role category is hard to predict because everyone's getting buzz, everyone's getting attention. There's strong cases to be made for pretty much all the nominees to win, but only one of them has been sweeping the awards this award season, and that's Zoe Saldana. So I think Zoe Saldana is still winning Emilia Perez for Emilia Perez rather. An actor in a supporting role is pretty much the same as I said. Yura Borisov in Anora, Kieran Culkin in A Real Pain, Edward Norton in The Complete Unknown, Guy Pearce in The Brutalist, and Jeremy Strong in The Apprentice all have very strong cases. Even if I haven't seen some of the nominees, I've heard there's real strong cases to be made for like literally all of them. But again, only one of them has been sweeping award season. That's Kieran Culkin. So Kieran Culkin is probably going to win the Oscar. I think that's one of the few like certain things we know about this award season. It's the supporting role categories. Leading role, however, actress in leading role, that's also a very juicy race. All of the acting categories this year are like very juicy, very drama-filled races. So you have Cynthia Erivo for Wicked, Carla Sofia Gascon and Emilia Perez, Mikey Madison and Honora, Demi Moore in The Substance, and Fernando Torres in I'm Still Here. Carla Sofia Gascon kind of helped sink all of Emilia Perez's like hype, if you will. Like not all of it. I've still predicted it to win like at least 3 awards just now, but it was crazy because after the Golden Globes, I and pretty much everyone was certain that it will win Best Picture, regardless of whether we liked it or not. But those tweets came out, and man, oh man, she ruined that film's entire reputation among the Oscars voter base, or just among voter bases in general. So yeah, I don't think it was winning actress anyways. I don't think it was ever really strong in that category. So Carla Sofia Gascon is out. Cynthia Erivo, just by virtue of her not having really won any major awards for that performance, I also would count her out, leaving us with 3 major frontrunners in Fernando Torres, Demi Moore, and Mikey Madison. Fernando Torres won the Golden Globe, and I think nothing else in terms of the major acting awards. So I think I'm going to have to count her out as well. Though I would not discount her as a surprise winner on Oscar night. That would be a very memorable turn of events, and it's not one I would immediately count out. Just saying. But just by pure numerical reasons, for pure numerical reasons rather, I'm going to count her out, leaving us with Mikey Madison and Demi Moore. Mikey Madison only really got steam in terms of like number of awards won in like the past couple of weeks. So I don't know if she got that traction in time to like get the most amount of votes for the Oscars. So I think it's gonna be Demi Moore, which has been my prediction since the Golden Globes. So Demi Moore for actress, then actor in a leading role, Sebastian Stan in The Apprentice, Ray Fiennes in Conclave, Colman Domingo in Sing Sing, Timothy Chalamet in A Complete Unknown, and Adrian Brody in The Brutalist, all of whom have great reasons to win. Sadly, I think we're going to have to disqualify 3 of them just by virtue of them not having, just because they haven't gotten the amount of awards necessary. I know Sebastian Stan has a Golden Globe. It wasn't for The Apprentice. He's out. Ray Fiennes, pretty much universally liked performance. He's out. He hasn't won enough. And same for Colman Domingo, which everyone tells me is putting on really something special in terms of an acting performance in Sing Sing, but I sadly have not gotten to see that yet. I'll get to it. I'll get to it eventually. That's a promise I'm making you folks right now. Again, hasn't won the awards necessary for me to like lock him in as the official winner, so he's out. And then Timothy Chalamet, who up until very recently I thought was just like pretty much eliminated completely until he won SAG. And I think a lot of the SAG voter base overlaps with the acting voter base for the Academy. So, I think he still stands some chances. Adrian Brody is a past winner, and there was that whole AI controversy with his accent and Felicity Jones' accent earlier in the year, but I think that has kind of died down. So, I don't know. It's going to be a very tight race. Wouldn't discount Chalamet winning, but I think Adrian Brody is going to win this, despite the strong case for Chalamet. And I think Timothy Chalamet will win an Oscar in his career. It's impossible that he doesn't. Like it's pretty much a known fact. He's going to be he is the next DiCaprio pretty much. And then we're getting to the two final awards of the night, which I'm gonna just kind of count all in one package, which are Best Director and Best Picture. Always the buzziest races of the year, except for maybe one of the acting categories. This is going to be a bit of a bloodbath. We have not seen a race like this for Best Picture in a while. So I really don't know. Even right now, I'm still unsure, even though I have a clear winner in mind. 'Cause it was chaotic. In November we start off. Nora's the big front runner. You know, hot off the heels of winning Palme d'Or at Cannes. You know, got the limited release. Everyone was raving about it. Then the Golden Globes happen, and Emilia Perez and The Brutalist win, and they become the immediate front runners. They get into their little, respectively, like big and little controversies for Emilia Perez and The Brutalist. So that kind of discounts their chances. And then Honora just like wins PGA, DGA, I think CCA as well. So yeah, I think it's a bit cyclical. It's a bit anticlimactic in a way. After all the drama, after all the bloodshed this award season, I think director and picture will go to Honora. And it's not undeserved. I really like the movie. It's still one of my favorites of the year. And you know what? For all the things we can say about Sean Baker as a person, to see the guy that barely 10 years ago made a movie shot entirely on iPhones, you know, rise to the level of winning Best Picture is the kind of like underdog-ish story that I think the Oscars are all about. It's never really that much about the film's quality. It's all about the film's narrative. And you know, this time I don't think it's an unfair pick, because Honora is truly one of the best movies of the year. And I mean, just let's all just thank God that it's not Emilia Perez that's gonna win. Or are we certain of that though? Let's not jinx ourselves here. I'm gonna end the video here. I have nothing else to say. Leave a like or a dislike. Comment down below. Subscribe if you want to see more of my unhinged rants and takes and whatnot. And yeah, on that note, I'm going to end the video. See you in the next one. Bye.